to review some questions over how it was back when he was young, during my age practically. Okay, so first question, where were you born?
I was born in Portugal Cove.
Okay. Describe the history of your community. Who was its founder? What are some examples of natural resources that were used in the community based on where you lived? Why did people choose to establish themselves in that particular community?
Well, the community was settled by Basque fishermen. Basque meaning they were from Portugal, hence the name Portugal Cove. They stayed for some time in Portugal Cove, and then the English moved in. The Portuguese moved out, and then the English founded the settlement as we know it today. The reason they settled it was it had a sheltered harbour and it had good fishing grounds.
Okay. Question 3. What was life growing up? Describe a typical day.
A typical day would start by getting up in the morning and walking a half a mile to school, and then at noontime you'd walk half a mile again back home to get your dinner. After dinner, walk back to school again, and in the evening when school was finished you walk home again. So you'll notice that's about 2 miles of walking every day. Good exercise.
Question 4. How is life different today compared to when you were my age? By food, houses, medicine, play, etc.
Now, the big difference today with you growing up and with me growing up was that everything today you can buy, but most of ours, our foods and chickens and fish, it was all produced by ourselves, right? There was no supermarkets to go to. There was a couple of small general stores in Portugal Cove, but for the most part, everybody provides their own food.
What was your favorite subject?
I would have to say my favorite subject was history, because we get to learn how things were back through the ages, and you could compare the different centuries with the century we were living in.
What did you like to do in your spare time? What were your hobbies?
Well, like I said, between producing our own food and spare time was at a premium, but we did go fishing in the rivers and in the ponds. In the winter we went ice skating and ice fishing, and in the nighttime after the homework was all done, we'd probably have a game of checkers. They were very popular.
what was your role in your household? What kinds of chores did you have?
Chores. Well, there was many chores. There was vegetables to be brought in from the root cellar, wood to be brought in from the wood chute, water to be brought from the well. In the winter, had to keep everything clear of snow. Shovel only, no snow blowers. And there was no shortage of work to do.
And that's all the questions that are circled now. So, what do you have to do if you had to go to the bathroom?
The bathroom? Well, we had what you would call a outhouse. It wasn't in the house at all, it was outside. So you can only imagine what that was like to get up and go out to that in the morning. Especially a nice cold morning with snow. And the water was, we used to boil the water on the stove, and we had a wash pan, and you wash in that, right? No showers.
Okay. If you wanted to have something like chicken, how would you get it?
Well, like I said, we produce our own food. So everyone, just about everyone, kept their own chicken. We used to have about 40. And we'd get anywhere from probably 12 to 20 eggs a day. They would be shared with neighbors, what we didn't need. And when we needed chicken, you would pick out the oldest ones, and they would be killed to have chicken.
So that's pretty much all the questions. So thank you, Pop, for coming here today to review all these questions on the sheet. And that's pretty much it.